For centuries, salt has been a regular part of our daily routines. Yet, we frequently underestimate its potent energy and the deep influence it can have when used deliberately. Although its qualities were recognized in ancient times, not everyone had the privilege of accessing its benefits. In those days, salt was considered highly valuable and scarce, affordable only to a fortunate few, mostly the rich. But today, we have this powerful tool at our fingertips, available to everyone. While most of us think of salt as just a seasoning, it holds far deeper meaning in Buddhist practice. It's not just something that sits in your kitchen pantry. Salt has been used for centuries to cleanse, protect, and purify. Its spiritual properties make it an excellent tool for dissolving negative energies and shielding ourselves from harmful forces such as envy, hostility, or even malicious intentions. And here's the surprising part. One of the most effective ways to harness its power is by placing it in your freezer. Yes, the humble act of freezing salt can help lock away harmful energies, preventing them from taking root in your life. Let's dive into how this works and why this simple method can be a game changer for your spiritual well-being. The idea of putting salt in your freezer may sound strange at first, but it's deeply symbolic. Salt absorbs negative energy, while the freezer represents a space where things are contained and halted. Together, these elements create a powerful ritual that freezes negativity in its tracks. When you place salt in your freezer, it's like building a protective barrier around yourself, blocking the spread of harmful energies, whether they come from external forces or your own thoughts. Think of the freezer as a vault that traps the negativity absorbed by the salt. Once inside, that energy is frozen in place, unable to harm you or influence your environment. It's a simple yet profound way to take action when you feel weighed down by unseen forces. By freezing the negativity, you're giving yourself a break from its influence, allowing space for positivity and peace to return. More than that, this ritual gives you a moment to pause and reflect, a much-needed spiritual break. In Buddhism, we often talk about the value of stopping, pausing, and giving yourself space to breathe. This ritual acts as a reminder to freeze the chaos around you, not just the negative energy, but the overwhelming emotions that come with it. Performing this ritual is easy, but its effects can be deeply transformative. First, select a small container, preferably one made of glass or ceramic that you've cleansed with water to remove any lingering energy. Fill it with sea salt or rock salt, which are ideal for absorbing negativity. Hold the container in your hands and set an intention, like, "May this salt absorb all negative energies and protect my space." Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the salt acting as a magnet for negative energy, drawing in any harmful intentions, bad luck, or negative thoughts. Visualize the salt soaking up the darkness around you and feel the weight lifting off your shoulders as the salt begins its work. Once you feel ready, place the container in the freezer. As you close the freezer door, visualize all of that negative energy being locked away, frozen in time and space where it can no longer affect you. This ritual isn't just about freezing harmful forces. It's about reclaiming control over your space, both physical and mental. By placing the salt in the freezer, you are drawing a line between you and the forces that drain your energy. The freezer serves as your protective vault, a place where negativity is stored and rendered powerless. For the next 3 days, reinforce the ritual by repeating a simple affirmation for a few moments each day. Salt in the freezer, protect my space, absorb what is harmful, and keep me safe. As you speak these words, imagine a barrier of peace and protection forming around you. Feel the calmness settling in, knowing that the salt is doing its work behind the closed freezer door. After 30 days, It's important to release the salt, as it has absorbed all the negativity it can. Simply flush it down the drain, allowing the negative energy to be washed away from your life for good. This act of releasing the salt symbolizes the final step of letting go, no longer allowing that energy to linger in your space or your mind. You've created room for clarity and positivity. This ritual does more than just freeze negativity. It offers a deeper lesson in spiritual detachment. In Buddhist teachings, detachment means letting go of things that no longer serve us, and that includes the harmful energies around us. By placing salt in the freezer, you are practicing the art of releasing attachment to negative forces that might be clinging to you. Think about it. How often do we hold on to things that no longer serve us? Whether it's old grudges, unresolved conflicts, or simply the weight of everyday stress, we allow these things to stick to us like invisible burdens. The freezer ritual is a physical act of release, a way to clear those energies from your space and your spirit. By locking away negativity, you're creating a powerful pause, a moment where you choose not to engage with the chaos. You're stepping back and freezing the influences that might otherwise consume your thoughts and emotions. It's an empowering process, reminding you that while you can't always control external circumstances, you can control how much power you give them over your inner peace. And it's this inner peace, this detachment from unnecessary suffering, that is at the heart of Buddhist practice. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you care for yourself enough to protect your energy, to step back when necessary, and to create space for calmness and clarity. Now, let's talk about Maya, a woman who came to me feeling overwhelmed by a string of bad luck. Her business was failing, her friendships were unraveling, and she couldn't shake the feeling that something was deeply wrong. She decided to try the salt in the freezer ritual, not expecting much. But what changed wasn't just her external circumstances, it was her mindset. As Maya went through the ritual, she noticed something unexpected. The simple act of placing salt in the freezer felt like a weight being lifted. She realized that she wasn't just freezing negativity, she was freezing her attachment to the problems she couldn't control. The act of locking away those negative forces gave her mental space to breathe, and over time, her perspective began to shift. During the ritual, Maya experienced clarity she hadn't felt in months. She started to see her challenges as temporary and manageable, rather than overwhelming. Instead of feeling victimized by her circumstances, she began to trust that she could create her own peace. Maya's story isn't just about a ritual working magically. It's about the power of changing how we relate to the difficulties in our lives. By shifting her mindset, she discovered her own resilience and inner strength. This shift in perspective allowed Maya to embrace a deeper truth: that peace comes from within. It's not about waiting for the storm to pass, but learning to find calm in the midst of it. The salt in the freezer became a physical representation of her ability to freeze the chaos and embrace the calm, showing her that she had the power all along to create space for positivity and peace. At the heart of this ritual, and really any Buddhist practice, is the power of faith and intention. In Buddhism, rituals aren't about magic. They're about mindful action. Placing salt in the freezer won't work unless you put your intention behind it. This is where your belief, your focus, and your commitment come into play. Faith in this context doesn't mean blind belief. It's about actively participating in your own spiritual journey. You're making a conscious decision to protect your energy, to freeze out what no longer serves you, and to invite peace and positivity into your life. When you combine intention with action, you create a powerful shift in your own energy field. The salt in the freezer ritual is more than a simple protective measure. It's an invitation to engage with your life more mindfully, to be aware of the energy around you, and to take responsibility for maintaining your own peace. It's about empowerment and self-care on a spiritual level. Mindfulness, at its core, is about being present in the moment and taking deliberate actions to care for your well-being. This ritual, though simple, is an act of mindfulness. It's a way of grounding yourself, reminding you that you have control over the energy you allow into your space and the peace you cultivate within yourself. The salt in the freezer ritual is one of those rare practices that is both simple and incredibly profound. It reminds us that even the most ordinary objects, like salt, can hold extraordinary power when used with intention. The act of freezing negativity allows you to take back control of your spiritual space and protect yourself from harmful influences. Remember, the real power of this ritual lies in the intention behind it. By freezing the negative energy, you're creating a mental and emotional barrier that protects your peace. So the next time you feel weighed down by unseen forces, try this practice. You'll be surprised at how much lighter and clearer you feel afterward. Have you ever felt the burden of negative energy in your life? How do you clear it away? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're curious about other Buddhist practices to protect your energy, don't miss our next video, where we explore the transformative power of water rituals. Remember to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more spiritual insights.